Welcome back to Breslov campus. Rabbi Nachman goes into the concept of Moshiach in many lessons. In one lesson he says like this, lesson 32, part 2 of the Kutimran. He says that every Jew has a spark, an aspect of Mashiach within him. Every Jew has a piece and a part of Mashiach, even though Mashiach will be ultimately, eventually, one human being, but every Jew has a part in bringing Mashiach, and by extension, you have a spark of Mashiach within you because his arrival and revelation is dependent on you. You have a part in it. So you have what's called the spark of Mashiach. Every Jew has the spark of Mashiach within him. And Rabbi Nachman teaches that you have to make sure to guard this spark, this light of Mashiach within you, and not to chas shalom, God forbid, lose it. So he explains, he asks Rabbi Nachman, how can a person, God forbid, lose his piece of Mashiach, to lose it? So he says, the verse that we recite in Lamentations, Eicha, reads, Ruach Apeinu Meshiach Hashem. The spirit of our nostrils, our nose, the anointed one of God, Mashiach Hashem. So from this verse, Rabbi Nachman explains, Apenu, the word nose, is connected to immorality, niuf. Like it says in the Midrash, on the 10 Commandments, where it says, Lo tinaf, you should not do adultery, Lo tinaf. So the Midrash explains the words as, Lo tehane af. Don't give enjoyment, forbidden enjoyment, to the nose. Because Rabbi Nachman explains, and the Kabbalah teaches, that the nose, not just the sense, but the whole concept of the nose is connected, believe it or not, to immorality. Eyes, you see. Ears, you hear. Right? With your mouth, you can speak slander. What's connected to the nose? On one hand, we're taught elsewhere that the nose is anger, the breathing, but also, since excitement for immorality is also affected and connected with the breathing of a person, so there's a deep connection between the sense of smell and immorality. Tehane'af, that's a connection, the etymological connection between niuf, immorality, adultery, and the af, has the same letters in an etymological sense. So the verse is saying, Ruach Apeinu, the spirit of our nose, is Mashiach Hashem, the anointed one of Hashem. And here Rabbi Nachman learns to read that to protect the Mashiach Hashem, the anointed one within you, the spark connected to Mashiach in you, Ruach Apeinu, you have to guard the af. You have to work on personal purity, on trying to protect yourself from sexual impurity. Because if, God forbid, a person falls into even slight errors of sexual impurity, so the spirit of Mashiach is a ruach kin'ah. It's a spirit of vengeance. Like we saw in Parshat Pinchas, that Pinchas was full of a vengeance for Hashem because of his desecration of God's name done by Zimri of having a forbidden relationship, which is a type of niuf, a type of adultery, a type of forbidden relationship. And Pinchas risked his life to do a kin'ah. And we know that Pinchas is really Eliyahu HaNavi, who's going to be the one initiating the bringing of Mashiach. So there is a kin'ah, a vengeance associated with the blemishing of the covenant. So Rabbi Nachman teaches that if, God forbid, a person begins to lose the spark of Mashiach within him because of blemishes and adultery, the damage could be very severe, even leading up to a divorce, he says. He says that even for no logical reason, good couples, good families, he's good, she's good, for some stupid reason they want to break up and everything, it can be traced to this ruach kin'ah, this spirit of vengeance activated due to even slight falling off from guarding one's personal purity, whether in machshava, dibur, maaseh, in thought, in action, in speech. So because of that, Rabbi Nachman teaches a person has to stay away from even what's called the reach shel niuf, even a smell of immorality. In other words, to have what's called tahara and kedusha, work on holiness. Just knowing this fact, that if I make a severing of the walls of purity and holiness, will lead, God forbid, to losing marriages and losing shalom bayit. This should be enough for people to work on themselves and not to succumb and to submit themselves to falling into blemishing of the covenant of the sexual purity. So here Rabbi Nachman teaches that this is the key in guarding Mashiach and bringing Mashiach and having your part in Mashiach, and also being saved of this ruach kin'ah, this spirit of vengeance, which is associated with the blemishing of the spirit of Mashiach.